since we were using the hoist today, I thought, well, we'll keep going. Put the R5 up here. R5 number 2. Let's have a look. The brake fluid was a bit low, so I thought I'd check everything, but I don't see any indication of a leak anywhere, so gonna just let that slide for now until we see what's going on. Could be a master cylinder, I don't know. The other thing I noticed was a noticeable spot on the concrete underneath this car where it looked like oil leak, but I think it was gear oil. So I'm going to have a quick look. Of course, you got shields on everything here, so get those off. I'd like to use this car a lot more this year, and it's going to get a lot of use. I want it dialed best I can, within reason, of course. Yeah, looks like the passenger side front axle, perhaps. Not the end of the world, but it is kind of a job to get in there. The way it's leaking mostly on one side is making me think it's probably that axle seal there, which is not. I mean, it's leaking a tablespoon a year, but you know, I'm going to clean it up and get a closer look, make sure it's not anything easy, because if it is, I'll fix that. But if it's a pain in the ass, well, I'll have to wait till the part arrives. A lot of parts are still available for these, a lot aren't. This is something I found underneath the Renault, and it's the proportioning valve for the rear brakes, and everything is all bent and mangled, and there's 4 brake lines going into it, and of course it's just, I don't know, somebody must have jacked the car up by it or something. Anyway, everything is mangled and bent and seized up and basically garbage. So I'm going to try to fix it up, at least you know, till it's doing something. The idea is that it's rigged up with some linkage to the torsion bars, transverse torsion bars in the back. So the more weight you put in the back of the car, i.e. passengers, the more rear brake action the system allows, so that when the car is not loaded, that the rear brakes aren't locking. Kind of clever until it looks like this. Now it's just a big pile of rusty garbage, and it's all seized up. I couldn't really see how bad this was because I didn't have a hoist when we put the car together last year, but now that I see it, I can't really leave it like that, and obviously it doesn't work at all right now, so we're gonna waste way too much time screwing around with this. Okay, we finally did get this apart, so get that out, and then there's a slide valve here, and brake pressure works against a spring. Where's the spring?
Here.
Yep. There's a spring on this side.
Caked.
You see the taper here, and as this slide valve moves this way, the outlet holes for the brakes are here, and it'll cover them, and as it moves that way, it opens them. So when there's more weight in the car, this valve wants to go like that. When there's less weight in the car, the valve goes like that, and it closes off the rear brakes, so that they don't lock up when there's no weight in the car, because these cars are so small and so light that 2 people sitting in the back doubles the weight of the car. So this is how they got around that. It's just a little, very similar to the proportioning valve in most cars. So we put that like that. Seals seem okay. Seems to move smoothly and whatever. Spring pushing this way, and that is taking input from a series of linkage still not straightened out. And this arm which swivels on here or something, right? That goes back and forth, and this linkage is in. There's a piece here. Anyway, you get the idea. Typical French engineering nonsense, but no reason to believe it doesn't work. And there, that's all you see. That's the business end of it there. And seems to all work smoothly. It was stuck. All this stuff is bent, and it was all just jammed up underneath the car, and it had been sitting in one position or other for years. So either the brakes were either going to lock up or not apply at all until we fix this. I don't remember which position it was stuck in, but it doesn't really matter. So we're going to put this all back together. I don't have time or the inclination to detail this all up. Like we don't have time to care. We are going to reassemble this thing. I think we've got it all working. Straighten out this linkage. Fix a few little more things that are bent here. This is an absolute nightmare under there. I didn't film any of it because I don't even want to put you guys through the torture of actually having to watch this go in or out. Just a travesty getting this in there. There's all the suspensions all around it, and I'm not looking forward to putting this back in. It is a mess. It is a nightmare. And we have to clean all the fittings first, because otherwise you get one speck of sand in here and this whole thing is effed. So the only thing good about this whole job is I did manage to get these 4 fittings off without breaking the steel lines, which was pretty much a miracle. See this damage on the frame rail here, which is not serious. That's probably somebody, when they put the jack in, the jack come off and wrecked all this. Yeah. Anyway, there it is, back in its home. Pretty unbelievable, but that's how they did it. And so that's mounted up. This is loose right now because the car is hanging, but when the car weight goes back on the wheels, this will pull back, and that will preload this valve to some extent. And come up to the front here. Let's have a look at these leaks. So what I thought was a seal leaking, starting to look like it might be, because that's definitely gear oil, and I'm thinking it's coming around the threads. This is a collar that preloads a transmission bearing. So it's like in the Dodge rear ends where you tighten them and then you put the little tab in there so you have the X amount of end play. This is how it's the same thing, just bigger. So I am beginning to suspect, because the oil that I see is on the outside of the threads and none of it's up here. And I see the same thing on this side. Oil is very slowly working its way around the threaded adjusting collar. Oops. A couple of drops a year. I'm not ripping the whole car apart. That was a huge, you got to pull the ball joints, the brakes, all of this shit has to come off to get the axles out. And that was a nightmare job. And I'm not doing it again just so I can put some caulking on that. But anyway, when you're restoring your R5 at home, don't forget to put a little thread sealer on those adjusting collars. Handy tip, which I am not ever going to need again. Everything else is tight. Everything's fine. Car runs and drives nice, so I'm not tearing it all apart again for that. I'll put a tablespoon of oil in it once a year. So anyhow, that concludes today's French car nightmare adventures.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, and going inside. that's enough of that. That actually went not too badly, and we should have restored original braking capabilities. These cars are not renowned for good brakes, so we don't want to leave a lot of slack in the system, but it seems to be functioning. That's all the adjustment that there is. Should be close anyway. Hey guys, thanks so much for checking out the video. We got a lot more coming up on Saturday, including the first official test drive of Bun's 73 Plymouth here. Anyhow, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on Saturday for more of the... This is a regular contributor.
Same old shit.